I must ask you to hold still.
My liver ain't the lily kind. Tell it to me straight, Doc.
The bullet shattered your tibia and all but demolished your gastrocnemius muscle. Due to the risk of infection, I have to abscise your leg. There is good news, however. I recently enrolled in a course on advanced amputation techniques, so I'll be seeing a positive return on my investment sooner than expected. Don't be obscene. I have on hand a perfectly adequate tranquilizer to manage any flailing.
Say, how sore are my pockets gonna be after all this, Doc? Don't suppose there's a discount for only taking a portion of the leg?
I'm not running a charity. If you desire full treatment, you'll pay full cost. If that's a problem, seek compensation from your commanding officer. A kind, if naive offer. Unless you have thousands of bits to burn, any amount you could provide would be a drop in the tank at best. My services do not come cheaply.
This is a mighty big decision, Doc. Can I have a moment to noodle on it?
I don't encourage delays, but very well. It'll take a few minutes for me to warm up the saw anyway. Short of you skipping back in time and ordering the coagulant I need, I doubt anything can be done to accelerate the timetable for treating these soldiers. I am a doctor, not a magician. I cannot manufacture coagulant from the aether, neither do I possess the special training to improvise with what supplies I have on hand. Now, was there anything else? Excuse me, that chem set is not a toy. In future, I'd appreciate you keeping your unsanitized hands to yourself. I'm gonna have to re-sterilize that chem set now, and I just cleaned it 2 weeks ago. No, that doesn't look right at all. Please do not try to administer whatever that is to anyone. My morgue is already near capacity.
You know, Doc, actually feeling a lot better.
What's that burning smell? Oh, good. I think the saw's all warmed up. I must ask you to hold still.
We are currently experiencing considerable waiting times for expedited treatment.
You ever find yourself with too much disposable income? I got plenty of ideas on how to dispose of it.
I see a huge opportunity for us in Fairfield. There's zero competition and plenty to drive people to drink.
Inches and footballs played with an penalty buckets. Oh,
At least coming out to spot folk who ain't here no more is easy work. If you're that new salesperson, don't bother. Whoever was here packed up and left. I just came out here to take boxes on the streets list. And it's things. No.
distracted, daydreaming on the job? Mental refreshment centers are there to help you. Don't risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts. Go now.
Almost missed the routine certitude of my assigned profession.
Under protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are declared treasonous due to insufficient zeal in defense against seizure.
Well, it's infected. Redstone arrives soon, we'll have to start cutting.
Greetings. It is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you to Westport, once a shining testament to protectorate excellence, now a picturesque example of the evils of corporatism. But where are my manners? We do not have much, but please let me offer you some victuals. Tut. I insist. Serving Unit 1. Something for the visitor at once?
Confirmative.
Perhaps you're wondering why I'd open my arms thusly for a stranger. Simple. As the guiding light for humankind, we always put our best foot forward, regardless of circumstance. I beg to differ. Those walls have stood for over a century and would easily have stood for another, were it not for Auntie's greed and envy, and explosives.
Work isn't strenuous or stressful. Food is nutritious and plentiful.
That is unlikely, as they are too ignorant to see our obvious superiority. Our society was built from the bedrock up, through the vision of our matriarch. Due to her genius, the structure of our society is perfect, planned down to the last subject. We all work as a unified whole for the betterment of all, unlike those corporate colonies, where it's every person for themselves. How dare you? The lower classes, as you call them, are the very heart of our society. There's naught to complain of. Why, we've even eradicated the drudgery of manual labor through our perfection of auto-mechanical technology. That brings me to a matter I'd like to discuss with you, actually. I believe something still can be done. This town can be saved, its people given a reprieve. Were we to acquire the one thing vital to our existence: auto-mech parts. What?
Comestibles served.
We of the Protectorate pride ourselves on our mech programming. Among the vigilant, it is even considered something of a sport. We are not miracle workers, however. Without parts to work with, we've no hope of remaking our mechs to do tasks beyond their initial functions. We need repair mechs, domestic mechs, not combat ones. Serving Unit 1 here is about as much as can be accomplished without replacement parts.
Is resilient. The system abides. But now, more than ever.
Oh, you failed to hear the loudspeakers on the way in? The announcement we're obliged to repeat incessantly. Well, allow me to paraphrase. Protectorate law finds us guilty of treason on account of letting Westport fall prey to Auntie's choice saboteurs. These fine and decent folk don't deserve having their lives thrown away on account of my failures. If I can return the settlement to a reasonable facsimile of its previous glory, sufficiently functioning by employing mechs reprogrammed to repair and rebuild, the arbiters might see fit to penalize only me, commute the others' sentences, allow them to maintain things around here in the spirit of continuity and such.
Look around. If the Protectorate wanted to do right by you, you wouldn't be starving and wallowing in this metal quagmire. You want to help your people? Go to Fairfield.
Fairfield? Why, they're the reason we're in this mess. You'll forgive me for questioning such timely offers of generosity and kindness. No thank you, not interested. I owe it to every single person here to try. Of course. Abandon every last ideal to climb the rungs of the corporate ladder. A trifling matter to be executed with an insouciant air.
Well, it's either that or die here with all dignity tossed asunder. Be smart. Take the deal.
Nobody needs go anywhere. Not when we can still save Westport. We of the Protectorate endure as one, regardless of any hardships we must face. I have the aid of key pillars of our community, several persons of note and good character who stand with and by me, and our town still functions. Our automechs are still running, mostly. We have a generator to power them, fresh water, the reassuring voice of everyone's neighbor Prudence wafts from our loudspeakers. I don't know. Look, I've entertained these fool notions of yours long enough. There's no use pursuing such a fruitless line of thinking further. I have a brighter future in mind for Westport, one you can help with, in fact, rather than dwelling on dark maybes and scenarios of worst imagining. I am unaccustomed to such talk. Don't take much to it. Though I will put aside my perturbation for the good of Westport. Let us talk plainly. What would it take to secure your aid?
From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant.
What sort of payment do you seek? Don't imagine we have much you need. Difficult place to saunter into. Station's off limits to anyone without the highest security clearance. For anyone lacking reason to be there, it's assured suicide. In exchange for the automech parts we need, I can provide you means to get inside. Never dream of such a proposal in days of reason and quietude. Yet such is the here and now we find ourselves in.
Represent a fascinatingly complex ecological network. To govern it, the matriarch, working with and through the sovereign, devised the paradigm, a meticulously designed marvel where, if each of us does our part, produces glorious bounty for...
Wonderful. My unavoidable march to the gallows feels lighter already. At least now my subjects will have a fleeting chance. The parts can be found at the Euphoria Coast Automech Repair Center to the south, but do not, under any circumstances, tell those stationed there why you need them. To get inside, you will need an access pass from the Ministry of Accuracy. Since we have all been marked as traitors, I cannot create one for you here.
But now,
Farewell now.
we must all do our part. Maintain it. Keep doing your job with pride. Keep informing on your neighbors. Same as ever. But
Have time for a chat, Commander? This is a delicate situation. You reckon we help folk here get back on their feet? Or do what the minister asked?
Gray gone astray? Book a stay today. Are you mentally refreshed?
Well, if we help Westport, the Vigilant has promised to get us into the box. Folk here could rebuild their community. Maybe. But it's only delaying the inevitable, if you ask me. If we convince these folk to join up with Auntie's Choice, they can start new lives away from the Protectorate guillotine. They'd be grateful once they see what we got on offer. Plus, the minister's deal was clear. Do this, and he'll tell you how to gain entrance to the box, so you'd still get what you're after. the whereabouts of DeVries, right?
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
Come on, Commander. Westport's damn near underwater, and the Protectorate are claiming everyone therein to be traitors. Barring some mass change of heart, it's a matter of time before these folk get struck down by their own. The Vigilant seems a decent enough sort, but he's just one man. You want to give these folk a real shot at living? Send them to Fairfield. You got it. Let's start conversating. The sooner we know how folk really feel about living here, the sooner we'll know who to butter up.
Of resources and lack of community led to terrible suffering. Poor dear. base individualists within Auntie's choice. So don't fret. The system is resilient. The system abides. But now, more than ever, we must all do our part.
Visitors, huh? Just meandering about, free of any appointed minder? Not so sure I ought to be speaking with you. If you need someone to talk to hereabouts, I suggest you seek out Vigilant Hogarth. That tall, stately building back yonder is his domicile. Oh, glad to hear. Probably sprung an important task on you afterwards, I'd wager. I mentioned to the Vigilant how I'd reset my chef mech to prepare meals to my liking. The next thing you know, he puts me in charge of repairing all the mechs in Westport. I mean, sure. All the underlying logic's the same, if you mull it over. I'd been trained to run them big algae processing units, which were a fair amount more complex. It's just... subjects are expected to mind their assigned area and particular forte. So I was a mite taken aback. But I am happy to help the system abide any way I am able. I assume those are approved Protectorate announcements, correct? With everyone's neighbor prudence and the like? I mean, sorry. Of course they are. Loudspeaker control terminal is in the proclamation station, a few structures over. One with the antenna. I suspect they go there. Not to indulge in idle talk, but things have been different around here of late. Not at all overwhelmed or terrified of dying, though, of course. The system abides. Much to do, truly. Toughest challenge now is upkeep of key apparatus. If that generator goes, for instance, doubt I have means to fix it. We lose power to charge our mechs, this place is done for. Final nail in the coffin, or similarly minded metaphor of your choosing. Not that the paradigm would allow that, of course. Even if I did ever fall prey to such treacherous whimsy, you think I'd be fool-headed enough to admit it to a stranger? Look like I've been kicked by an automech or something? I mean, void damn. Vigilant Hogarth's still here. No matter how bad it gets, keeps us going, keeps us right. Folks like him prove the paradigm is aligned with the Architect's plan. Just gotta trust the rightful guidance of the Vigilance and the Sovereign. Think I care more about remuneration than helping my neighbor? Nah, I'd rather live in an honest-to-goodness community than be surrounded by them individualist backstabbers. Sure feel sorry for them. Maybe someday after we, well, utterly crush their forces and disprove their bent philosophy, we can show them all a right, better way to live. You don't say. Huh. So it's only here with our, perfect society that it works our way. How, fortunate for us all to benefit from such judicious guidance. That's a right intriguing proposition. I do wonder what it's like to have a choice about things. If it weren't for Vigilant Hogarth, I do believe I'd scupper off to, well, you know where. Yeah. You convince him, I'm in. But I owe him enough I wouldn't abandon him for nothing.
Sometimes challenges do arise. We all know how invasive.
How empty are the lives of... We reject individualism. Separately and together.
The system of raptidons or the base individualists within an voice. So don't fret. The system is resilient. But now, more than ever, we must all do our part to maintain it. Keep doing your job. Keep informing on your neighbors. Same as ever. But prudence dictates we give it a little extra added zeal for now, just to offset any minor disruption.
Against seizure. Did you hear? They're letting anyone who wants to train at the Arbiter's facility.
The paradigm says we're to spend our lives in a creative profession.
That's why.
With a special one-time free offer.
That doesn't sound like a sanctioned communique.
The announcer's voice is so smooth.
Information. Did you know that at Auntie's Choice, we don't pre-select your assignment at birth? It's true. No computronic doodads, no permanent roles, just good old-fashioned freedom. In fact, the former Protectorate subjects now abiding in Fairfield are free to choose any vocation they like and change occupations at the slightest of whims. This wildly unfettered personal freedom pervades every aspect of life in Auntie's Choice. Choice is in the name for a reason, my good subjects. Without further ado, I hereby extend my personal invitation to you all to join us in Fairfield and sample our unique brand of autonomous self-determination for yourselves. So pack your bags and get ready to think for yourself, choose for yourself, buy for yourself. With Auntie's Choice, your lives will be transformed.
I'm loath to admit it, but the enemy propaganda sure does sound delicious.
Remember, Auntie knows best.
Salutations, Arcadia. Auntie Cleo here with a direct message to all Protectorate subjects listening in. I'm ready.
or sprint. Typical predicament for an anti-bottom runger like me. Wish I never snuck in here to begin with. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Nah, it was a great idea. So much stuff for the taking around here. Another load of loot. Plenty to get me back in the sprag race. Just didn't account for all these crabbles. Real fly in the old ointment. I could just sit tight, live lean off all these supplies, hope the crabbles skedaddle, or maybe open the door and bolt. Seems like a good idea. Nah, it's a great idea.
gunky eye, goop lung, post-nasal flooding, and worse. Unless you stockpile Falderall's mollifying demulcent, an easeful release from Arcadian allergens of all kinds. Use Falderall's mollifying demulcent and breathe easy.
Why do those advertisements never stop?
They never stop.
Surely there's nobody in Auntie's Choice that hasn't managed to memorize them by now.
Our Iffy Jiffy Mail Order Division informs it is now offering the Pen Pharmacon 5 walk-in industrial microwave. Originally developed for secret research laboratories for purposes we may only guess at, the Pen Pharmacon 5 is now... It's so unnaturally sweet, it's almost unbearable.
We believe so much in this delicious, cost-cutting... We're rushing to market, following a modicum of testing.
That vacuous cacophony sets my teeth on edge. Ah, the itinerant stranger returns. Nobody needs go anywhere. Not when we can still save Westport. We of the Protectorate endure as one, regardless of any hardships we must face. It'd have to be catastrophically obvious this place was doomed, and incontrovertibly beyond my means to save it, before I'd even consider such a recourse. Well, that's what's commonly referred to as your opinion. What all of us need most here are the... Farewell now.
Concoctions aren't supposed to taste good.
I'll say, it's like rotten fruit and decomposing fish
That endless yattering is more insipid than I'd imagined.
Give Auntie
course, it's part of the Sovereign's plan. He floods our houses, which makes more habitat for fish, which offers us more to eat, which gives us the strength to build new houses. But then, how do I cook the fish?
Prudent. You walked in here under your own steam and appear reasonably free of cuts, burns, or weeping lesions. So, I assume you're presently devoid of mortiferous injuries. Good. Because we've got more of that than we can handle. Don't suppose you have any medical supplies to spare, do you? That you might kindly consider donating? Oh, no thank you. Not looking for anything that does more harm than good. I've enough ailments to manage already. From what I've heard about Auntie's medicaments, might poison a patient or cause them to grow an extra head or something. Never know what they're testing out on you.
My extra parts aren't side effects, if that's your implication. And anyhow, I should think some minor side effects would be preferable to dying.
Honestly? Well, I'm a reasonable judge of character, and you seem upright. On behalf of my patients and I, thank you. We're all grateful. Guess outsiders aren't all just base individualists like they say on the wireless. Barring this being some tricky sales strategy, that is. This is a good start, but I fear it won't last long. Wouldn't happen to know a reliable means to procure more, would you? Oh, they'd just take us all in? Provide us with all the food and medicine and housing we'd ask for, would they? Doesn't align with how I've heard them depicted on the wireless. You almost make that sound reasonable, under a highly skewed, morally vacuous light. Not seeing a wealth of options here at present. I can watch my patients die, then face execution, or we can resettle elsewhere and remain alive. I lean toward the latter. The abandoned section of Westport ought to have some supplies. Should be enough medicaments down there to help our injured survive the trip to Fairfield. It's perilous, though. Well now, that should do nicely. Thank you. Hope those Crabbles didn't give you too much trouble. I recognize these patients require more care than I'm able to provide here. Seems like in Fairfield, I can get them the help they require. The one last additional thing we'll need is for Vigilant Hogarth to agree to it. It's less a concern about disloyalty, and more my respect for his abilities. He's a skilled leader, and we could sorely use his aid, from coordinating logistics to keeping up morale. I'll surely have my hands full with my patients. His presence on the journey would save lives. See you when I see you.
Supplies dwindle as your moves threaten to collapse.
That endless yattering is more insipid than I'd imagined. Well, look who it is. What is it? Speak your mind.
The winning side. I shall await you with open arms.
You want freedom of choice. You want Auntie's choice. The stamen of a typical Arcadian titan.
Thought you'd agreed to help us, not those corporate heathens. Not my favorite topic of discourse, but I do like the cut of your jib. Very well. State your piece. Charlton? Of all people? But no, it's not everyone, is it? I'm sure it's not. The others are steadfastly loyal, resolute, right as rain. I've tried to tell myself it's better to die a subject of the Great Protectorate than live a life driven by freedom, but you may be right. The joke is on you, really, and them, I suppose. Don't you see? We're all traitors. I no longer hold any authority over anyone. But if they still wish my blessing, it is theirs. My former subjects are free to live an empty life with Auntie's choice. I'll make an announcement. Order them to depart for Fairfield. But I will be staying. Should I? Haven't I failed them enough for one lifetime? No. I will stay here and loyally await the judgment I richly deserve.
Not responsible for temporary or permanent damage to eyes, teeth, skin, or general lifespan. Ask your doctor if a walk-in...
My former subjects jumped at the chance to abandon Westport. They don't need me. Oh, come now. I am a vigilant of the Protectorate. I have endured untold hardships, countless battles. What's a little Oh, it never stops. The tumult of duplicitous lies. You're right. I can't withstand this inane onslaught much longer alone. At least in Fairfield, I'll have company in adversity. Unsure how I'll endure such an empty existence. Perhaps, if I offer my old subjects periodic advice, our sense of community may somehow, despite the wiles of commercialism, remain. All right, then. Suppose it's time to make my announcement.
Accidentally, we created on purpose.
Purple Berry Crunch. Accept no imitations. The K lets you know it's authentic. Now with 110%...
Attention, everyone. Attention. I, Vigilant Ogden Hogarth, hereby do order all subjects under my command to abandon the settlement of Westport at the earliest possible juncture. You are to depart for the township of Fairfield, safely and together. Once there, you are to appeal to local authorities for citizenship with Auntie's choice. Thereupon, you are thus and forevermore relieved of your duties as subjects of the Protectorate. This is a direct order from your Vigilant and is not to be questioned and cannot be countermanded. Now see to your preparations. I will join you shortly.
Auntie's Choice knows that a better you is just 3 pills and an ointment away.
Sometimes I get the feeling we're not welcome here. Like the Protectorate folks resent us liberating them.
Nah, they know this invasion ain't personal. It's just business. Besides, we're expanding their horizons. They've never had so many flavor options for vodka.
Every time I think I'm having a bad day, I just tell myself, wait till tomorrow. It'll probably be worse.
You've lifted my spirits right out of their doldrums. Our new guests have just arrived. Here, A considerable reward for your considerable efforts. Had anyone asked, I would have bet a year's pay against your capturing the hearts and minds of the denizens of Westport, and it seems I would have been out a great deal of bits. I've two minds about the convertees. Anyone with eyes can see they need guidance, but a pernicious system is not easily abandoned. Have you any thoughts? Trust will take time to build, time and patience. But that is an investment I am ready to make. You've given me a great deal to think about. I am in your debt. I cannot overstate what a capital compatriot you've been, my friend. Now be off. I've many refugees to see to. Plan is such a strong word. Let's call it a hunch. Consider this your first lesson in propaganda. Find whatever your target desires most and use it towards your own ends. Speak with Vigilant Hogarth in the building beside the saloon. He was in charge around here before we arrived. I have no doubt he knows vital information to the Vox's functioning. Now, should you ever find yourself visiting the ACS Undisputed Claim, do come see me. I've no doubt that when we next meet, I'll have risen 6 ranks, at least. Farewell!
These riffs got me awful perturbed. Is reality hard enough without some nerve-wracking phenomenon?
The others appear to be acclimatizing well to this purposeless existence. Well, hello. You appear burning with purpose. Is everything all right? Has something occurred? Judging by the waves of consternation wafting off of you, your other options must have failed. Yes, I know of a means in, but you must do something for me there. Even though I no longer am of the Protectorate, I do care for its subjects. I'll prepare a writ of conscription to allow you entry to the Vox Relay. While most would refuse my authorization, the sentry assigned to the gate once lived in Westport. Sentry second-class layman. Show the writ as proof I have conscripted you into my employ. Use it to press service on my behalf, and she will let you in. Once you're inside, there's someone else you should show it to. You do that and say what I tell you. It saved many lives. The Vox Relay is, to my mind, a time bomb. Brigadier Montelli's lost his way. Now all manner of chaos is raging there. I've heard tell he's even resorted to extra-legal executions. Madness, I tell you. A brigadier doesn't act as judge, jury, and executioner. That's an arbiter's job. And even then, they're enforcing existing Protectorate law. Marshal Corbin. As with all my subjects, I have been there when he needed me. I trust we can call on him now to do his part. Seek him out at the Vox Relay, conscript him with the writ, and this is important. You must convince him to kill Montelli. Corbin will want to talk him down, to take him into custody, to message superiors outside the facility beforehand. We cannot allow any of that to happen. If Corbin becomes the highest-ranking officer alive, no one will be able to contradict his accounting of events. The Protectorate execute connivers and schemers. Corbin must appear forced to take down Montelli in a moment. It cannot feel like a plotted coup. Good, good. Here is the writ. Farewell now.
Whoever fixes this rift problem is definitely getting a hull-side suite with an Elysium view.
My cousin makes for a pathetic ornament on this bridge. One might think I should feel regret, but I only feel relief. To that end, I hope you have brought news of Ida. Do hurry. I might remind you that I am on increasingly borrowed time.
Give Auntie 2 bits, and she'll give you some new glitz. Give Auntie 5 bits, and she'll give you a facial spritz.
Oh, what's this? Non-protectorate personnel just sauntering up onto my porch, free as they please. Admit I'm accustomed to a higher standard of precaution. State your purpose, outsider, or exit yon way you came. Ah, I see you've discovered some of my misappropriated materials. Careful labeling proves prudent and useful yet again. Here, for your effort. A full set of Science Adventures Quarterly was stolen from me and sold to various unknown parties across the island. Since you've already proven adept at their repossession, I would put it to you to locate the rest. A form of manipulatory ideation disguised as popular entertainment, intended to sway the audience to their point of view, couched within just a crackingly exciting narrative. Specifically, an Earth Directorate periodical featuring beloved fictional characters Commander Zane and Buddy. An effective mental conditioning device. And right thrilling. It was a popular fiction periodical from not long ago. Each of its 10 volumes featured an exhilarating cover illustration depicting Zane and Buddy's thrilling exploits. Whether they faced automechanical industrialists or robber magnates from the Plutocrian kleptocracy, their tales remained invigorating thrill rides. Ah, quite right. In fact, Delightful. I am pleased you are on the case, as it were. So very Zane and Buddy. Return again when you have another 4 volumes, and I will trade them for more valuable oddities. May safety, amity, and ease be yours.
Funny business.
Rapids have been popping up all over the place since Horizon Point. They're harmless. So long as you keep your distance.
Armed and ready.
And I'll take care of it, Commander.
Got a distraction for you. I'm the one you need to worry about.
Happy to assist in crafting more ammo if you need.
Liquidate them! Photos looking quite marginal, Commander.
Goodwin here. Field report update. We are approaching the Raptidon Den. These beasts have exhibited excessive irritability as of late. We endeavor to determine why. Surely the red spores aren't to blame. Wind-borne spores lack the catalytic agent of our food additives. Only way to be certain is to gather a stool sample. Simple enough. A routine task for the Audacious Advances field team. Quiet now as we approach the rap's nest. Certainly the spirited variety will offer... Oh, no! Oh, okay. We need to run now!
I've
had my fill of wrangling spores. This should be enough for the antidote.
Aha! Allow me to give this a cursory eyeball and... Perfect. I'm sure we have the correct neutralizing agent here in the lab. I'll nose out the exact compound within our chemical reserves in 2 shakes of a rat's tail. Always fortuitous to have ready access to a key chemical agent nearby. This might work out yet. Auntie may ignore our recent setbacks if I deliver an easy-to-market product. Just imagine the ad slogans. Air, now with extra fractiousness. Though, I suppose it only works on other Auntie's Choice employees, not our preservative-free rivals. Oh, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Now we must formulate an antidote. If we're able to save my remaining subordinates, they can help us rush this product to market. Well, it's a textbook example of the medulla oblongata wagging the cerebellum. Although, frankly, there's a plethora of ways to stimulate the reptile brain into such a flurry. None of the previous methods were anywhere close to being this commercially viable. But where there's a will, there's a way to make a profit. Ah, there. I have determined the ideal counteragent. Here you are. Place it and the spore samples into that synthesizer. Enable the device and it will beget a working antidote momentarily. Return with it directly as soon as it does, if you please. I cannot wait to put this entire sordid affair behind us. Though in the end, this should turn out to be quite a lucrative day. I saw you working the chemical synthesizer. I presume you were successful in creating an antidote? Nice try. But you don't possess nearly the negotiating power you might suspect. Not when I can simply bide my time and wait for another gormless dunderhead to stumble by. Why, let that thick-headed boob amble off with your reward. Not budging? Oh, all right. I suppose I'd be willing to throw in a little extra as a merit bonus for your superlative performance. Wonderful, wonderful! Knew you seemed a bankably reliable sort. All right. I am activating the air filtration system. There. Should only take a few moments for the antidote to circulate. Everyone still alive should be right as rain shortly. Marvelous. You'll find your remuneration in the chest behind me. My supervisor will hear of your actions. Oh, and before I forget, I, Omid Ormsby, under the power granted me by the Loeffler Risk Intercession Act, hereby free you from impressed service to Auntie's Choice. Be seeing you.
Too much Spacer's Ale? Try Auntie's Choice Pep Pills. Good for what ails you.
Congratulations on your acquisition of the dematerializer. The dispenser is now functioning normally. Your ability to conceal homicides has also been increased by 85.9%.
No, Jackson, don't!
Don't fret. With these boots, I can fly!
Jackson, you're too young to be a crater in the dirt! Oh, law, I can't believe he jumped that way.
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No. That ain't how we operate in Auntie's Choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall? Tragically, yes. If you gaze beneath us, you'll find a slew of blood and gore in the gears of this platform's articulating arm. That's Ida. She jumped there as we ascended. I can't fathom no sensible motive. She joined us shortly after Auntie liberated her with the freedom of meritocracy, and she seemed happy enough.
Were you not listening? She said she'd always be a loyal subject. It was part of the endless inculcation we endured in the Protectorate. It can prove insurmountable for some.
The notion that she'd sacrifice herself, even after seeing the vast possibilities in staying alive and climbing the corporate ladder, it's just impossible to cognize. No, wait! Please! You can't just leave us up here to die! The reason Jackson tried using those plasma thruster boots was to gather a piece of machinery we'd spotted on a little table halfway up the spire.
It's a drive overloader. If we install it, we can push the platform's arm hard enough to... well, to grind old Ida out of the gears.
Though the power of that overloader will deluge the system and, well, overload the drive and burn it out all permanent-like. But desperate times and all that.
So if you were to use them boots to bound up the spire and deliver the overloader to us, we'd avoid the tragic fate of our 2 former cohorts.
Exactly!
Oh, thank the Sovereign... thank you, stranger. We are eagerly anticipating a long life utterly absent of starvation. You're by our crop of Brachythecium rutabulum. They're found in bandages and burn tinctures. If you don't have that drive overloader, ascending may be a waste.
It was that easy?
We've certainly found our way into a most harrowing circumstance, At least I'm glad I'm not alone. He hadn't been here terribly long, so we weren't particularly familiar. Like me, he was also former Protectorate, but he was not raised in Fairfield, so we'd never met before. Still, he seemed like a friendly, kind sort, albeit a headstrong one. I'm sorry he's gone. Please do hurry. I've lost count of how many meals we've missed, but it is closer to many than a few, and we're starving.
There's a beast out there just waiting to yield up its vitals to a grafting table. I'd like to begin the hunt soon, if it's all the...
That was some impressive climbing. Poor Jackson could have learned a thing or two from you. Starting with the right direction to jump, I suppose. Wonderful. Get us down, and I'll happily compensate you in accordance with standard Auntie's Choice urgently improvised extortive standards.
What I wouldn't give for a big bowl of purpleberry crunch right now. Got something that needs doing, Commander?
Available in mysterious murky brown.
You're really something else, stranger. Thank you for getting us down.
Oh, thank the law. I never thought of myself as a vertiginous sort, but being trapped 100 meters in the air will make you reconsider.
I mirror that sentiment, to be certain. In fact, Auntie will have to pay me triple if heights are to be involved. And isn't it grand to be in a system that allows me that freedom?
I agree with Liza. I'm inclined to keep a few paces from farming equipment from now on. Here's your reward for evacuating us with all our parts intact. I perhaps ain't as awash in currency as I'd prefer, so you can have my helmet as well. It was useful for identifying crops we'd missed in our harvest. But to be honest, I'd like a little distance from plants for a spell.
pressure. Nature made apples, but Auntie Fizzo's made them better with Auntie Cleo's patented mock apple cider. Too much Spacer's Ale? Try Auntie's Choice Pep Pills. Good for what ails you. Purple Berry Crunch. Accept no imitations. The K lets you know it's authentic. Now with 110% of your daily chemicals and preservatives. Why choose just any choice when you could choose Auntie's Choice? Remember, Auntie knows best. Auntie's Choice is the proud maker of Spacer's Chaw, Zero G Brew, and antibiotics. Everything you need to get through your day.
I've been bartering with the defectors. Traded one Borst rocket for a whole tin of prestige Borstness.
I ain't even close to hitting rock bottom yet. Middling bottom, sure, but not rock bottom.
You want freedom of choice.
My cousin makes for a pathetic ornament on this bridge. One might think I should feel regret, but I only feel relief. To that end, I hope you have brought news of Ida. What? How do you know this? Keen as I am to entertain this, am I expected to take traitors and corporatists at their word? Let me see that. Yes. Yes! This does appear to be hers. Unfortunately, there are reports of the Harvester having been repaired in the wake of her sabotage. Though her triumph may not have endured, it was a good effort nonetheless. Should Montelli deign to interrogate me for my associations, I'll be certain to inform him of her patriotism. This displeases me. Sabotage is only as good as the further suffering inflicted once its victims know the truth. Though I suppose a minor inconvenience is also acceptable. Since you have already delivered me Charlton, our arrangement is concluded. You may cross the bridge. Safe passage assured. Cadre, lower the bridge. Remember, there will be no negotiations, no staying of hands north of the bridge. If you step out of line, may the matriarch have mercy on you. Montelli surely won't.
Commander, I think you and I need to have a chat.
You didn't so much as flinch, handing someone off to the warden to be executed like that. Was passage across the canyon truly worth the price? But you didn't explore any other avenue, did you?
The Protectorate care nothing for the lives of others. You know this, and still you went and made a deal with them. This is exactly the kind of shit I'm fighting against. Lives being given about as much thought as a dime changing hands. I spit on the notion. This war zone is not your playground.
Coward. We were outnumbered. If I'd done anything...
My cousin makes for a pathetic ornament on... What? How... Keen as I... Let me see that. Unfortunately, there are... Should Montelli deign to interrogate me for my associations, I'll be certain to inform him of her patriotism. This displeases me. Sabotage is only as good as the further suffering inflicted once its victims know the truth. Though I suppose a minor inconvenience is also acceptable. Since you have already... Cadre, remember...
Commander.
You didn't so much as flinch, handing... Was passage across the canyon truly worth the price? But you didn't explore any other avenue, did you?
The Protectorate care nothing for the lives of others. You know this, and still you went and made a deal with them. This is exactly the kind of shit I'm fighting against. Lives being given about as much thought as a dime changing hands. I spit on the notion. This war zone is not your playground. What peace? You best think on this, Commander. When you stand back and watch an innocent go to the slaughter, you've picked a side. But these folk will crush the life out of you too, if you let them. You didn't so much as... Was passage across the canyon truly worth the price? But you didn't explore... The Protector... This war zone is not your playground. Right. Ain't a stranger to tactics, Commander. But make no mistake, you give these folk an inch, and they'll crush the life out of you too. First chance they get.
Prisoner 34989-393A, there is no place for you in the Paradigm. You are hereby sentenced to death for the crimes of desertion and opposing the lawful authority of the Protectorate.
No! Thank you for saving me. I wish I could return your kindness in some capacity, but I left everything behind when I fled. Though you're most welcome to my old Protectorate equipment on that ledge. I won't require any of it from here on out. That part of my life is behind me for good, it seems. The commander of the base to the east, Brigadier Montelli, has gone mad. He's executing loyal subjects as traitors on a whim, without even a mention of refreshment. He claims his actions are in the name of the Sovereign, but nothing he does is in alignment with the Paradigm. He's obviously ill and needs to be removed. My partner and I are loyal subjects of the Protectorate, but we were forced to flee after pointing out the obvious. Is everyone so oblivious that they can't see what is going on? I was to meet my partner in a cave to the northwest of here. We were going to hide until the current Montelli crisis has been resolved. I fled Montelli, but I'm still loyal. Once I stop shaking, I'll continue on my way. Thank you again, stranger. I owe you my life.
Figured this ship would have departed by now.
You know how Sentinels are. They take their time with traitors and instigators.
Hostile ahead. The Sovereign provides, the system abides.
Back again. Thought we were done for now. Break as many fingers as pleases you. Still won't change my tune. Wait, who are you? I'm certain I haven't seen you before. Before. I remember all my oppressors. Thought I was hearing things earlier, but I know no one by that name. As I said, that name means nothing to me. My friends and I operated alone. Plier to seats elsewhere.
Agent Ibarra's presence may be useful here to convince the prisoner of your intentions, Commander.
To what do we owe the pleasure? My dear cousin will serve a fine warning to anyone who dares to betray the Protectorate.
For Arcadia, and a great purge is imminent.
You again. I heard fighting. What's going on?
We're not Protectorate. We're your ticket out of this hotbox. Esculepe sent us.
Esculepe? Zeb sent you? Wait, you're Niles, aren't you? Count on Zeb to go as far as raising the dead to help. But it's too late. I gather you haven't noticed the bodies in the pen here.
Oh. The others don't look like they suffered easy deaths. What happened?
Montelli, damn him! He executed March and Pharaoh outright, ranting about traitors. Then the Consul Sentinel arrived to conduct a preliminary interrogation. She tortured us for information. The others didn't survive her enthusiasm for the work. I'm only here because the Consul wants someone brought back to him, alive. Lucky me. Thanks. Can't take all the credit, though. The Sentinel seemed spent by the time she got to me. Wore herself out on the others, I guess. Quick, though, before I forget or we're interrupted, I memorized the cipher. It's 02519W. Should help Zeb decode the intelligence we sent him a whole lot faster. Please don't think me ungrateful for your efforts, but I'm not going anywhere.
If you're too hurt to walk, I'm sure the commander and I could...
No, it's not that. I need the Sentinel to take me onto that transport. I want her to think she's won. And then, just as we leave orbit, I'm going to blow her pretty ship to pieces.
That might just be the most ruthless bait and switch I ever heard. Your friends ought to be proud.
Thanks. Funny what ideas come into your head after losing a molar. I'm no martyr. If there was another way to protect Zebulon and our cell, I'd take it. But if I escape, the Protectorate will pursue me, and everyone I care about will be in danger. I'll make it look like an accident. Mechanical failure. When I was being tortured, I saw some frayed wires near the fuel system. With the right spark, I think I can ignite it.
I have my doubts. Even if she managed to spark a few wires, that ship's bound to have a fire suppression system. It would kick in if there was any real ignition.
What do you propose, then?
Not blowing yourself up, for starters.
You know how relentless the Protectorate is. But if I die, that's the end of it. The Consul will turn his attention elsewhere, and our cause can continue in the shadows. Please, if you can help me sabotage the transport, then help me. We don't have much time.
Might be I could sabotage the transport from the outside. Make it look like negligent maintenance. What do you think, Commander?
The others paid with their blood to protect the cause. How can I be unwilling to do the same? All right. I'm going to trust you on this, if only because I don't feel my head screwed on quite right at the moment. I just hope you're not wrong. No point in remaining here then, is there? Especially since you've already gone to the trouble of unlocking the gate. Tell Zeb I'll rendezvous with him later, somewhere safe. One last request. Don't damage the transport. A lone escapee is already insult, but a Sentinel killed, her transport destroyed? The Protectorate won't ignore such outright injury. Anyway, thank you again. Look after yourselves.
I know what Audra said, but what if she's wrong? I can't help thinking we shouldn't leave without blooding in the Protectorate's nose first. I could still go through with our plan from before. Sabotage the transport, make it look like an accident. Wouldn't be hard. I'm torn. On the one hand, Audra might be right. But when else are we gonna have a chance to take out one of the Consul's lackeys and a Protectorate vessel in one go? She was ready to fulminate herself before we talked her out of it. I'm just saying, maybe she ain't thinking so straight. That Sentinel's not gonna stop. She'll find new targets, new people to torture and kill. If we do nothing now, their blood will be on our hands. Thank you, Commander. Stay put. Shouldn't take me too long. Done. Won't go into the particulars, but you can trust that ship will blow the moment it hits orbit. Let's get back to Zeb. He still needs a cipher, and he'll want to hear about what happened with Audra.
You've returned, but where are the others? Hold a moment. What's that in the sky? A Protectorate transport? What in the blazes was that? What of my team? That wasn't the vessel sent for them, was it? Tell me they were not on board.
A sentinel worked them over bad. Only Audra was still alive when we got there, and she was ready to blow herself up to take out that ship. Luckily, we found another way.
Damn the Protectorate. At least you were able to get through to Audra, and still find a way to avenge our fallen comrades. And what of the cipher? Thank you. I was beginning to fear I'd have to decipher this intelligence the hard way. Perhaps I was mistaken about your commitment to making amends, Niles. Thank you for being true.
Can't fault you for having doubts. But I have changed. I am changing.
I hope you'll both forgive me my earlier disposition. I'm not normally so surly. I'm pleased Niles has found such a supportive friend and ally. That's a rare thing in this colony. I haven't much to reward you with, but take this. It's something I had started on for Niles long ago. Hopefully it fits. This information came at a steep price, but I'll put it to good use. Expect to hear from me should our cause require further assistance from the Earth Directorate's best.
Got time for a debrief, Commander? Feels good, don't it? Helping folks like Zeb and Audra hit back against the Protectorate. Almost like being back with the Earth Directorate. Yeah. Guess I am. First time in a long time I felt something kin to hope. It's easy to focus on all that's going wrong, but wins ought to be celebrated too. No. Trust, I learned my lesson there. Got the burns to prove it. On Triangular, might have suggested going for drinks somewhere they don't come with fuel, but here, I think we'll have to settle for patting each other on the back. Shucks, Commander. I'm gonna get top-heavy you keep paying me compliments like that. Thanks again for going out of your way to help Zeb. Now I can focus on hunting down the Vrees without feeling like I've got a rabid sprat in my back pocket.
To what do we owe the pleasure?
stringing up their own people. Sick bastards.
Damned bodies. Why can't we just bury the lot of them? Theoretically, it shall take me 4 hours to hang 8 bodies. But Montelli killed 6 more yesterday, and my shift only goes for 3 more hours. Sovereign's mercy. I fear hanging all these corpses is beyond my capabilities, and I certainly need no distractions. What is it you want? Is that you there? Why do you have an Auntie's Choice abomination in tow?
Careful now. You're speaking to a soldier who could put one between your eyes at 100 paces back. Lucky for you, I'm here in good faith.
Ugh, no matter. I cannot afford to worry over you. I have a grave number of bodies to hang and not enough time to hang them. Now, what is it that you want? Vigilant Hogarth sent you? I wish I could help, but he's been named a traitor. These credentials might as well be stained in Protectorate blood. That being said, I am from Westport. If Hogarth trusts you, let's just say I'm willing to listen. The Brigadier sees enemies everywhere, sappers in every shadow. Approaching him under questionable license is to risk being shot. It's too dangerous for us both. While it pains me to act in what might be contrary to the Brigadier's personal conviction, I do believe the Sovereign would expect me to honor the Vigilance Station. Still, I can't simply have you saunter through the gates. It would cause a terrible stir. Though there must be a way. The gibbets. There is little view of who's within them, so I can use them to haul you into the station without notice. I won't lock them, so you can free yourself once inside. I remember her. She and I occasionally met to take pot shots at the local crabba population. She worked on the command floor. There's a chance she lingers, quietly continuing her work. Or she could be dead. Regardless, it has been quite some time since I saw her. Allow me to open them for you and your companions. Getting folks inside can be a little tricky, and try not to move much or they'll start swinging something fierce.
Hope I never see the inside of one of those again.
This cannot be happening. Not again. Come, quickly. We must all bear witness.
Technicians Acna and Gastral, you stand accused of manufacturing a fatal flaw in one of our valued dragoons. Have you any last words to express your shame?
That dragoon was already defective. Oh, we were only rebuilding the logic assembly so that...
At last, the truth alights. I hope this belated confession unburdens your conscience, though it will do nothing to commute your sentence. On the charges of sabotage and treason most contemptible, I find you both guilty.
No. No, please! This is all a misunderstanding! We're loyal!
More loyal subjects executed. And valued technicians, no less. I cannot see how reducing our own manpower guides us down a path to victory. Wait. I recognize you. From Horizon Point. Yes, just outside the skip labs before the incident. We helped one another, didn't we? You with my record and I with the bridge. Please tell me you were not responsible for all the evil that transpired afterward. Others named Hogarth a traitor, but I never believed it. If anything, Montelli is inflicting more injury to the Protectorate right now than the whole of what Hogarth is accused of. In any case, the writ all but obliges me to aid you. Perhaps now we can put an end to all of this lunacy. If I can just speak with Montelli, maybe I can persuade him to stand down. Go to his terminal. Search for any information on it that may be deployed against him. Also, while you're there, notify High Command that I'm taking control of the station. I'll admit there's some risk in having my actions misinterpreted. I could be named a traitor, as Vigilant Hogarth was, or sent to mental refreshment. No. Surely High Command will understand the need for this transfer of power. What I do now, I do for the Protectorate, not myself. Besides, Montelli is not merely my superior, he's also an old friend. I must make some attempt to get through to him. Remind him of what true service to the Protectorate means. Why did you not mention any of this before? Never mind. If this is indeed the Vigilance will, then what other choice can be made? Much as I prefer a peaceable solution, you're right. The Protectorate would be made stronger by his passage. If he cannot serve as a general, he may yet serve as an example. It would still be best to investigate Montelli's terminal for anything that might unsettle or unbalance him before our confrontation. You will need your own access card to get upstairs. Blank keycards can often be found in the contraband room, and there's a terminal for encoding access in the security office. Head through the door to the right and continue down the hall. You should find your way without much trouble. Oh, but mind the guards. They'll still attack you on sight. I will join you as soon as you go to confront Montelli. In the meantime, I'll gather what weapons and allies I can.
Did you hear Montelli lock the thrusters?
I heard nothing, and neither did you.
But if the Vox relay launches, we won't be able to change its trajectory. It could land on one of our towns.
Are you questioning the actions of our brigadier?
No, of course not.
Good. I'm sure I misunderstood you.
Liquid it!
I got trouble.
Lay low, Commander!
Move forward!
Help me.
But I'm not ready.
No refuge granted!
Appreciate a little help, Commander. Pouring bound. B-A. Good. Knew you had my back.
Back in business.
Restoring the balance. Seeking cover.
Practicing some battlefield medicine.